Hi, I'm Steve from CT Nuggets, and this nugget is focused on the Agile Manifesto, the foundation document that led to everything today we call Agile. And without the Agile Manifesto, it's highly unlikely that this nugget series focused on the PMI ACP Agile Certified Practitioner would take place. The Agile Manifesto laid the foundation for the Agile wave. So what is this Agile Manifesto and why is it so important to us? As I said, it laid the foundation for everything we call Agile. But a key point I want to pull out is the Agile Manifesto is not new. It originated in 2001. PMI did not create the ACP exam until 2012, so there was some time between the origins of the Agile principles and the growing worldwide acceptance of Agile principles. But that doesn't belittle the importance of the original Agile Manifesto that was created in 2012. And in fact, the Agile Manifesto created in 2012 has remained intact. The principles of Agile development that was put together by this group of like-minded individuals in a ski lodge in Utah in 2001 have remained true, have remained consistent with the principles put together at that time. So, what are these principles? They are laid out in 3 separate documents, or pages per se. The first and most foundational is the Manifesto for Agile Development. The second are the 12 Principles of Agile Development. And third is the Declaration of Independence as the Agilists attempted to break away from traditional project management and traditional project delivery and begin to deliver projects in the Agile way. We're going to review each of these key foundational documents/statements from Agile in this series. And drum roll, please. The Manifesto for Agile Software Development, straight from the agilemanifesto.org. That's agilemanifesto.org. So full credit for them for publishing it on their website. Created in February of 2001 by a group of like-minded individuals. Who are these like-minded individuals? They are the people who are and were the world-renowned specialists in Agile development. How did this come to happen? Was this an accident? No. These were well-respected individuals in the world of successful breakaway project delivery. And they became known to each other. They started off doing their things independently, simply looking for better ways to deliver their projects, better ways to ensure they were doing the right things right and delivering their projects successfully on time, on budget, to ecstatic business areas. And they began to recognize there were others out there doing the same things, and they simply decided to get together. So was it an accident? No, it was a deliberate meeting on their part, but it was an accident that all of these individuals were looking for the better ways. And maybe accident is the wrong way to describe it, but it was a deliberate attempt for them to get together to say, what are we doing this different? Why are our projects being more successful? Is there anything we can do to publish that? And again, if you have done any reading in Agile principles, you'll recognize that this is the who's who of Agile development, and you'll recognize that many of the people who attended this original meeting on Agile principles are in fact the authors of several of the reference books that PMI recommend that this nugget series is based on. So enough of this history of the Manifesto for Agile Software Development. What did they say? When this 3-day meeting concluded, what did they say? Well, first of all, they laid out what it is they're after. We are uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others do it. Through this work we have come to. So this is the true Agile Manifesto. And each of these statements has 2 parts. The first is what the Agilists believe in. We believe in individuals and interactions over the more traditional processes and tools. We believe in working software over comprehensive documentation. We believe in customer collaboration over contract negotiation, and we believe in responding to change over following a plan. Individuals and interactions, working software, customer collaboration, and responding to change. Each of these, as they go on to say, that is, while there's value in the items on the right, we value the items on the left more. So, less important is process and tools, comprehensive documentation, contract negotiation, and following a plan. And this is a key consideration. They value the items on the left more, but they recognize there's value of the items on the right. The Agilist did not say throw away your processes and tools. The Agilist did not say throw away your documentation or your contracts or your plan. They simply said we need to put less emphasis on those, and we need to put more emphasis on the things that we believe truly matter. Now, let's look at each of those 4 lines in a little more detail. So the first line, individuals and interactions over processes and tools. What are they trying to say with that statement? Their statement is the individuals, the team members on the project, their individual abilities, their individual concepts, their individual focuses on the project, key motivated individuals, and successful interactions with the business community over processes and tools. One of the complaints of traditional project delivery was we don't see the team, we don't see the developers. They sit away in their vacuum and they go ahead and they develop software, but we don't have a lot of interaction with them. We don't have a lot of ability to influence them. We literally don't know what they're doing. They're saying, oh, we're developers. You would never understand the idiosyncrasies of programming. Just leave us alone and we'll deliver software to you at the end. So again, Agilists say individuals' interactions, the skills, the knowledge, and most importantly, the communication between the project team over following an established process. And let's say the established process is waterfall. In waterfall, we do big upfront analysis, we produce a monolithic document, and we get sign off. And then everything is fixed. It's cast in stone. And then the team goes away and does all of the IT stuff and creates an equally monolithic design document. And they present the design document to the business, and the business says, what is this? We don't understand this. This is written in computer speak. And the team says, trust us. It's exactly what you asked for. Sign it off. And they sign it off, and then the team goes away for an equally long period of time, or even longer period of time, and does development and writes software that satisfies the requirements, but not necessarily satisfies exactly what it is the business wants, because the business requirements have changed, or the business requirements were poorly defined at the beginning. So, step number 1, skills, knowledge, communication, individuals and interactions over established and dysfunctional processes and tools. And following directly on that is our second statement, working software over comprehensive documentation. The Agilists believe that rather than doing this big upfront analysis and big upfront design and then equally massive construction, why don't we do just enough development to deliver code? And I'm going to say a snippet. A little piece of code. Just enough code to write a menu system and deliver that menu system to the business and say, business, is this menu system what you want? Now that's an overly simplistic statement because a menu system doesn't have a lot of detail, a lot of complexity, but we do just enough code, just enough work to develop working code. And I'm going to call it a snippet, which is a unit of business requirement. And if we deliver just enough code to deliver a unit of business requirement, and we present it to the business and say, here, this is what you're going to get when we're all done, will this work? And the business is going to say, yep, exactly what I want. And then we go away and we do just enough code to deliver another tiny little code snippet, and we present it to the business, and the business says, yes, this and this combined are taking me closer. But there's a whole bunch more of this is needed. And we agree. But we're delivering incremental working software. And by presenting the software and validating that it works, we're again delivering more value to the business over, again, the traditional waterfall approach where all we're delivering is comprehensive documentation. Here is a massive analysis document, hundreds of pages. We expect the business to review and understand this massive analysis document and say, yes, if you deliver the nuances of, and if I truly understand all of the nuances of everything that's in this massive analysis document, yes, I think you'll give me what I want. And then we do the same for design and so on. So comprehensive documentation is an impediment. The original belief in the 70s when this comprehensive documentation came about was if we do comprehensive documentation, if we define everything it is we need to do and get it approved, we're going to be more successful. The problem is the comprehensive documentation is too comprehensive and therefore has led to additional but new flaws in the traditional approaches. So the Agilists say, let's do just enough. Let's move on, and let's go to the next just enough. The next key statement the Agilists made was, let's focus on customer collaboration. Let's stay in touch. Let's ensure that refinements and changes are welcomed. Business has changed. Government legislation has changed. Competitive environment has changed. All kinds of things change in the course of delivering software. With the traditional approaches, the contract negotiation, and I'm going to say contract negotiation does not necessarily mean a formal legal contract. In a lot of cases, software development was done through formal legal contract negotiations for third parties. But contract negotiation applies equally for in-house, where the IT department created a contract, i.e. the comprehensive documentation, and presented the comprehensive documentation to the business and said, here, if I deliver this, am I doing a good job? And the business reviews it and says, yes, fine, go ahead. So the concept of contract negotiation applies for internal as well as external negotiations. But the issues with this is it's firm. It's fixed. And as changes happen, and let's face it, changes are going to happen, it causes additional problems. So the Agilists said, let's stay in touch. Let's have ongoing customer collaboration, and let's put in processes where refinements and changes are welcomed. Which leads us directly to the final aspect of the manifesto, is responding to change over following a plan. If we do everything incrementally, just in time, just enough. If we only do just enough analysis and design and development to deliver the first menu system, if we only do just enough analysis, design, and development to deliver that next incremental snippet of business functionality, we are positioned to respond to change because literally we have nothing to change. We simply say, what's next? And then we do just enough analysis, design, and development to do what's next, and what's next, and what's next, and what's next, as opposed to having the elaborate plan based on the large analysis, design, and then we go into this large construction, where we must follow the plan and we must construct everything that was designed and everything that was analyzed, even though changes have happened. And I'm sure you're aware in traditional project delivery, we're not quite that rigid. We say, okay, if there are changes, we will allow changes to happen. We'll process them through a formal change management process, but that just leads to going back to doing more analysis, more design, and then leading back into a master plan. And that's the Agile Manifesto. While I have focused in our discussion to date on these items on the left, and to a large extent vetoed the items on the right, at this conclusion point for the manifesto, I want to take us back to what the Agilists said is while there is value of the items on the right, let's quickly talk about the value of the items on the right. Processes and tools. Being agile doesn't mean we throw away our processes and tools. As a matter of fact, Agile has a strong focus on process and tools, which we'll explore in a later nugget in this series, but they're meant to be supportive processes and tools. We will do peer review. We will do code documentation. As a matter of fact, Agile is adamant on effective documentation, self-documenting code. We will have build servers because having these processes and tools are going to support effective individuals and interactions. So we're not throwing away the processes and tools. We're tailoring the processes and tools to make them work with our agile principles of individuals and interactions. Similarly, comprehensive documentation. I tried to keep saying through the earlier part of this discussion that we do just enough analysis and just enough design to do just enough coding to write that snippet of working software. So we are doing documentation. We're probably eliminating the comprehensive aspect, but we're doing just enough of everything that would have been done traditionally to support agile software development. And we will still need some documentation. We will still need training manuals. And we will still need user documentation. And we will still need the key to agile development is we don't need these big upfront documents. We do that incrementally. And contract negotiation. If we follow this just-in-time approach, it eliminates the details of the contract negotiation, but we still need a vision. We don't need a formal, binding, comprehensive plan, but we still need a business vision to identify all of the business needs so that at the end of the day, at the end of the project, we are ensured that through this just-in-time iterative elaboration, we have still satisfied what it is that the business wants. And finally, responding to change over following a plan. And again, Agile has a plan, it's just a short-term plan. As again, you'll see in a later nugget in this series, we will follow a very rigid plan for a iteration. As a matter of fact, I would suggest our Agile plan for delivering each iteration is more rigid than a traditional plan, but we will develop many short-term plans as opposed to a single 3-year plan for the project. So again, Manifesto for Agile Software Development. Foundation began in 2001, some time ago. PMI is embracing the Agile principles in 2012. Developed international following through the years. Took a little while to get started. In the early years of the 2000s, there wasn't a lot of support, a lot of groundswell usage of Agile in traditional mainstream business development. But over the years, people began to recognize that there really is something to this Agile process, and more organizations are following it, recognizing that we want to be responsive, but we don't throw away everything in the past. While there is value in the items on the right We value the items on the left more. And the next thing they did in 2001 is they developed these principles behind the Agile Manifesto. Doesn't sound like they got a lot of skiing done. I think I would have rather get a little skiing in. Not that developing these Agile principles haven't been incredibly valuable to us for successful project delivery, but I'm a skier. I think I would have liked to spend at least a little more time in the slope and maybe did this at a non-skiing season, but that's just me. Principles behind the Agile Manifesto. We will follow these principles. Our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. The key is early and the key is continuous. We will do just enough development to produce functional, working, ready to implement menu system. And then we will do just enough development to deliver functional, working, ready to implement next snippet of business requirements, and next snippet, and next snippet, and the next snippet. So the key is delivering value early and delivering it incrementally. With that said, we're not going to go through the rigors of implementation of just a menu system and of just a next snippet, but we will develop incrementally and we will implement in releases where we have enough value to warrant going ahead and doing early implementation of the first 10 snippets, 15 snippets, whatever, where there is value from the release, and getting that into production. We will welcome changes even late in development. Agile principles harness change for the customer's competitive advantage. And why can we do that? Because we're doing it just in time. We have done just enough development to satisfy the immediate requirement, so therefore when change comes along, change can be embraced because we're not undoing anything that's been done before, so we can simply go ahead and say, yes, go ahead, let's do it. Deliver working software frequently, from a couple of weeks to a couple of months. This is the concept of doing the releases, with a preference for the shorter time scale because we deliver value, which means the business is more effective. So whatever the pain point was that the business asked us to undertake this project, we're beginning to deliver relief from the pain, so the business is getting value. And we're going to do this as often as possible while not introducing too much overhead for the implementation process. We absolutely require everybody on the project, the business and the IT people, to work collaboratively together every day on the project, and that's how we ensure there are no oversights, no missing requirements. Oh, I didn't understand that. If you have any questions, any concerns, call up the business person, say, come on down to my desk, or can I pop up to your desk, and let's see what you're really asking me to do. Build projects around motivated individuals, give them the environment and the support they need, and trust them to get the job done. Empowerment. Find a way to let the team work most effectively at all times is going to, again, ensure that the team is happy, excited, and challenged every day in their life. And evidence has shown that by doing effective agile development, we are getting far more empowered teams. The most effective and efficient method of conveying information to and within a development team is face-to-face conversation, not extensive documentation. Oh, is that what you meant? Sorry, thank you very much. Now I can do a better job. Yes, let me proceed. Let me continue. I now know exactly what it is you're looking for. I will get the job done. Working software is the primary measure of progress, not large monolithic analysis documents, not large design documents. Working software is going to determine whether or not I've been a success. And continuing after I've scrolled my screen a little bit, Agile processes promote sustainable development. We can continue to work at this pace continuously. The sponsors, developers, and users should be able to maintain a constant pace indefinitely. And this is, I would say, very much opposed to traditional software development, where we start off working at a sustainable pace, following our master plan, and then we realize we're late. And then we begin to work an extra hour a week overtime to make up, and then we're still not catching up, so we begin to work a couple of extra hours until it's to the point that it's an extra hour every day, and then it's weekends and evenings, and then we get burnout. The key to effective agile delivery is we find a pace, we publish our pace, and we deliver to that pace day in, day out, and it's a pace that people can absolutely continue to work at perpetually. And we can get away with this, if get away with is the right word in an agile approach, because we do not have the large master plan. We have mini plans that says, here's what we're going to do in 2 weeks, and we have confidence that we can achieve that in 2 weeks because we've achieved similar results for every 2 weeks in the past 6 months, and therefore we have established our sustainable pace, and we can do it without the weekends, evenings, and overtime. Continuous attention to technical excellence and good design enhances agility. If we do things incrementally and do things right the first time, we're going to be more successful. And we're going to focus on simplicity, the art of maximizing the amount of work not done, just enough, and no more. No embellishment. No gold plating. Research has shown that the majority of code delivered in a traditional business application is never used because our teams are often very guilty of embellishment. Well, this is what the business asked for, but while I'm doing this, I can do extra features and I can extra functions and I can do some value add, and I deliver a whole bunch of code that the business ever asked for. If we deliver what it is they want and just what they want, we're going to be far more successful because we've delivered the minimal amount of code, we've taken less time to do it, and there is no extra code that's going to have bugs in it. The best architectures, requirements, and designs emerge from self-organizing teams. Our teams are the trained experts. Let our teams find the best way to get these done. And finally, our last principle is, at regular intervals, take some time off, take a couple of hours, and reflect on what's worked and what hasn't worked, and find ways to do process improvement. So as I said, a lot was accomplished in those 3 days in 2001 at a ski hill, and has lived as is intact to this date. And again, this is the foundation for our PMI ACP exam. And a final foundational document for the Agile principles is the Declaration of Independence. Came out just a little bit after the Agile Manifesto, came out in 2005, but has many of the same signatures as was on the Agile Manifesto, and simply provides a little more clarity on the Agile Manifesto as discussed. Agile and adaptive processes for linking people, projects, and value. We are a community of project leaders that are highly successful at delivering results. To achieve the results, we will increase return on investment by making continuous flow of value our focus. We will deliver reliable results by encouraging customers in frequent interactions and shared ownership. We expect uncertainty, i.e. we will embrace change and manage it through iterations, anticipation, and adaptation. We will unleash creativity and innovation by recognizing that individuals are the ultimate source of value and create an environment where they can make a difference. We will boost performance through group accountability for results and shared responsibility. And finally, we will improve effectiveness and reliability through situational specific strategies, processes, and practices. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the Declaration of Independence, not that I don't believe it has value, but I believe this is simply a refinement of everything we've discussed in this nugget to date, and simply presents the way that the Agile Manifesto has evolved from the original statement in 2001 through 2005 with this extra Declaration of Independence, but the principles are absolutely consistent with what was put together in 2001. This concludes our nugget on the Agile Manifesto, a very key foundational document for the Agile process, founded in 2001 by a group of like-minded individuals who were achieving project delivery success far in greater proportion than others in their industry. So they got together to determine if what they were doing was similar, and confirmed that there was great similarity, and they published the Manifesto for Agile Development. 4 key points that lay out exactly how Agile projects are developed, focusing on Agile principles over traditional development, but recognizing that traditional development principles are still relevant, but need to be tempered and adapted. From that, they developed 12 Agile principles that says, here is what we believe is the foundation for our success in project delivery. And finally, a little later, in 2005, many of the same like-minded individuals got together and elaborated and refined and created the Declaration of Independence, all of which are the foundation for the PMI ACP exam. We will review the principles behind the application of, the implementation of the Agile Manifesto through the remaining nuggets in this series. This concludes our nugget on the Agile Manifesto. I hope this module has been informative for you, and thank you very much for viewing.